The garden kept me pretty busy this week, but I did not mind a bit. It is beautiful right now with so many flowers blooming. I spent a lot of time saving seeds from my favorite wildflowers, harvesting vegetables, and working in the garden as it transitions from a spring garden into a summer garden. Come work alongside me in the garden. My name's Angela from Growing in the Garden. I garden in Mesa, Arizona in Zone 9B. I love sharing garden inspiration and helpful tips so you can be successful in your garden. This is my first year being really successful with chamomile. I'm so excited. I love this plant. I love using it in herbal teas. This is the last bunch here in this raised bed. I removed all of the chamomile flowers and I've been letting them dry, and this is the result. So this is just ready to open. This is the best stage to harvest. If you can catch them right here, this is definitely a good stage for harvesting. Petals continue to open, then they fall off, and then the seeds begin to form. Those little triangular patches kind of dry out and form into these worm like things, and those are calendula seeds. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull this plant. It's got some powdery mildew here. It's transferring that powdery mildew over to my Swiss chard, which I don't want to do. My favorite way to save seeds is by using these paper sacks. I just write the name on it because you think you'll remember, and usually with some seeds you can, but not all. So then I pick them off, put them in this bag, and then just set them aside and give them time to dry out. And then when I have time, then I sort the seeds. So these seeds have formed, they just need to dry out. It was really covered in powdery mildew, so it was time to go. So hopefully I can eradicate that by cleaning up these Swiss chard and getting the rest of the powdery mildew out of here. Once there's some good airflow, hopefully the rest of this chard will recover and it doesn't spread. Because there was so much powdery mildew on these, I am not going to compost. I'm going to put them in my green barrel. Another flower that it's really easy to save seeds from is Strawflower. I'm not sure if this is totally ready, but there's some that are ready. So that those darker parts, you can see the little darker parts there, and those are the Strawflower seeds that just form in the base of that Strawflower. Normally though, as Strawflower is going, I go ahead and keep it deadheaded because I don't need every flower to develop seeds. You can save a couple at the end of the season. Marigold seeds develop the same way. This was the first flower that I ever learned to save seeds from. And you really just want to let them dry and develop on the plant. The best way to do it. And then those seeds develop right inside that flower head. The Rise and Shine squash, which is a vertical growing type of summer squash, sprouted. And I planted 2 seeds in each spot. And I'm going through and removing one of those seedlings. So I'm just going to go ahead and just clip that. And if I really wanted new plants, I could go ahead and try and gently remove one of these and save them, but there are plenty of plants. Right here is my experimental ranunculus that I went ahead and left in the beds. I've done this before and they haven't come back, but I'm going to try again with this one. Just leaving it in the bed to see if I can get those corms to come back the following year. Just noticed this Petunia completely overtaken. Look at that. They took it down. It's not been a great year for petunias. It's interesting how different weather patterns affect pests and different plants. I'm going to go ahead and pull this one. Doing a little bit of cleanup on the wildflowers in my front yard this morning. If you want them to come back, the idea is to leave some in place long enough to develop and drop seeds. So this is a lupine. The seed pods have formed, and then some of them have already dropped seeds. What they'll do is they'll kind of curl up like that and then drop their seeds. So these seeds are fully formed. Lots of seeds have dropped. More seeds have dropped. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest some of these seeds so I can save them for other areas. Cut the base off like that, and then I'm just going to store it here in a bucket. The seeds will drop to the bottom, and then I can save those and spread those in other areas. So I've harvested the seeds I want, and it's getting a little bit overgrown in here, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this plant. Now that the lupine is out, it's giving the larkspur more room, which is what I want, because I want these to continue to develop and flower. Number one, because they're beautiful and I love them, but they will also continue to develop seed, like you can see on this one. So I want to leave these in place because I want to have larkspur here next year. So I'm going to go ahead and leave these nice, beautiful seed pods on here because I want these to drop. So another plant here that will come back and actually kind of lives year round but just flowers here is the penstemon, this Firecracker penstemon. So these seed pods are developing, but I have plenty of penstemon growing, lots of areas. I don't need any more seeds. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these seed stems back, and that may encourage a second flush of blooms. So this is a mini vitex. I would have to look up the exact name, but it's similar to the large vitex, but it has a smaller habit. And I like to prune those to multi-trunk. But what they like to do is just have lots and lots of trunks. So I'm going to go in here and prune out some of this growth. Sometimes the easiest way is just to kind of pinch it off. Just go through and just keep this nice multi-trunked thing going on and leave the branches clear. So I've left most of the outer growth, but cleaned out the inner branches just to leave that kind of opened up and encourage that strong multi-trunking there. I'll prune back these Parry's penstemons too. Cut just above 2 sets of leaves, and there may be some shoots, depending on the weather, that come and give us a second flush of blooms, similar to what happened here. This artichoke looks like it is ready to harvest. You want to get it before these begin to separate. So I think this one should be good to go. A couple of these smaller ones are also looking like they're ready as well. Adding some food scraps to the in-bed vermicomposting bins. So what I do is I put a thick layer of wood chips over the top. Haven't done much with this one in a while. There's still a few worms in there going, so I think when I add some more food scraps in, they will come back. Patty pan squash here. Looks like we have a female blossom and also a male blossom. So it's nice when they line up like that. See the inside of each one and how they look different, but I'll also show you back in here. So the female is going to have miniature of whatever that fruit is going to become. And the male will just have a long, thin stem like that. So let me show you how the pollination works. I think the ants are going to do it, but just to kind of help you out here, to visualize it. Got the male flower, pulled back the petals here, basically just transferring pollen to the female flower to encourage pollination. Same thing with the zucchini, female flower, and then the male flower. So you don't have to hand pollinate, but for the purposes of demonstration, I will. So I removed that flower, pulled back the petals, and then transferring some pollen there. Should be good to go. A lot of the Swiss chard here is still growing strong. I've been harvesting a lot of that, but this one is bolting, forming a central stalk there, going to focus on producing seeds. So I went ahead and pulled this out, and I'm going to give this to the chickens. Going through these tomatoes and cleaning them up, getting rid of some suckers because I want to make sure the ones that are here have adequate airflow. I've got a couple of suckers going here. Then I'm going to clip that to the trellis to encourage it to keep going up there. Same thing on this side, just trying to kind of make sense of what's growing here. Another sucker going right here. So here's a good example of a sucker here. Haven't been paying attention. See how that's growing straight out? It wants to form its own tomato plant, and I don't want to let it. So if you follow each stem up, go up through here, there should just be one main stem with leaves coming off and then trusses of tomatoes coming off. Same thing over here. A really nice truss of tomatoes here. Look at all those tomatoes. And follow it up. So hopefully we got those suckers, but tomatoes do require regular maintenance, just going in, checking things, removing dead and damaged leaves, removing suckers, and clipping it to your trellis.
It is so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you. So hold me tight through the night. It's just us two.
Tomatillos growing in here need some support, and so I'm going to string some string between these two poles. All right, so I have the string set up, and now I'm going to clip the tomatillos to it using these compostable trellis clips. Here's a little bit of what's growing right now.
I hope it never ends. It's being more than friends. Yeah. You know I'm here to stay every single day. Yeah. So hold me tight through the night. It's just us two, me and you. Oh, 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 I can't believe you love me. Oh, oh, oh,
Thanks so much for watching this working tour of my garden.